Hello, thank you for tuning in. My name is Larry Duncan Allen, and this is No More Want 5. Next time, I hope you all had a very good um, Memorial Day. Did I speak to you since then? I think I did. Before I get started, I want to tell you about a couple of churches. New Mount Zion Primitive Baptist Church at 4300 converts in Cahokia Heights, Illinois, where my brother Elder Roger Allen is the pastor. Go by there and visit them sometimes. Also, New Shining Light, Holiness, New Shining Light, Holiness Deliverance, non-denominational church is 740 Broadway in Venice, Illinois. They're having their annual toy giveaway. Right now it's a toy drive. So if you have it for Christmas, if you have any toys that you can donate, um, we prefer new toys. Um, Take them by New Shining Light at 740 Broadway in Venice, Illinois. And anyone in the area is welcome to go by there during the time, on Christmas. It's not just those in Venice. Or if you can't get out to buy a toy, send in a donation to New Shining Light. It's 740 Broadway. Send it to 740 Broadway in Venice, Illinois at New Shining Light, Holiness Deliverance Non-Denominational Church. And also don't forget New Mount Zion Primitive Baptist Church at 4300 Converse in Venice, Illinois, where my brother Elder Roger Allen is the pastor. And at New Shining Light Holiness Delivering Non-Denominational Church, Bishop John H. Williams is the pastor. Bishop Williams is well known throughout the community and a well-known man of God. So please help them with the toy drive if you can. Okay. I want to get into my subject about the protest. I'm saying let them folks handle the protest. And one of the reasons we say that is because I feel like by now black people would know the assignment. We've been through this so much. And we had stopped protesting really after Michael Brown, if you really want to know, in numbers. There wasn't that many black people protesting in Black Lives Matters. But what happened is they've been trying to edge us back out there. Especially now since they really want to come after you. See, part of this thing, my glasses is causing me glare. Part of this whole movement of Trump is that, he can't deport black people, so he wants to imprison us. They've done everything. They canceled everything about us, took us out of history, tried to take us off jobs, but it didn't work like they thought it would, because they thought we were all affirmative action and DEI hires, not knowing all of that didn't really benefit us that much. But what happened is they have since we wouldn't come out to them, they want to come up in the cities where the black people are, so we can go out to them. And that's why I say let's not fall for it. Because on Memorial Day, Al Green, the Texas congressman, he held a march and there was quite a few black people in there, which I didn't agree with. He's falling right into their hands. It was a peaceful march, but what good does that do? Let them folks do it. There's enough people out there protesting on Memorial Day without him having to have black people to get out there. They want us out there. We're lying low. We're leaving this alone. But some of us just haven't gotten the assignment yet. Like Al Green. I like Al Green. I like him on most things. But I didn't agree with him on this. On this march. I didn't agree with him on that. Because they're trying to get us out there. They want us out there. Their hands are so tied that they don't know what to do. I saw a thing where they had some people, I think were Palestinians and Hispanics, and they were grabbing women and doing things, and they were calling it a disruption. But had there been black people out there, it would have been called a riot. They were actually hitting police. And I'm gonna tell these MAGA folks and these policemen something, these folks y'all messing with now, these Hispanics and white folks, they're not like us. They're not gonna be peaceful. They're gonna crack some domes. Certain things I can't say. They're gonna boot me off. They they're gonna crack some craniums. They're not gonna play that peaceful stuff like we do. They'll tear it up. They've done it before. Back in the 1800s, they tore Washington D.C. up over some jobs. They're not like us. They'll tear it up. But the thing for us to do is to sit back and let them tear it up. You see, they've done everything to us that they can do. They've been doing it all the time. We're used to it. See, these other people are getting a little taste of what it's like to be black and they can't take it. They say, we're next. No, you're next because it's always been going on for us. These Hispanics, what have you been seeing in which some of your people have participated in? You said that they're just grabbing you and taking you away without due process. They've done it to us. They're grabbing our children and separating us from our children. We don't know where our children was going. During slavery, they took babies right out of black women's arms and took it off and sold it. Took her children out away. When they got big enough to sell, sold her children. Many times she never seen them again. Black man had a family. They take his wife and children and sell them, sell the wife to one plantation, sell the children to another. So don't tell us about what you've been through. Said the police are beating you and not telling you what's going on. You've been saying that to black people, happening to black people all the time. Police jump out the car, beat black people and shoot them, kill them. Oh, I shouldn't say, unalive them. Take that word back if I could. And, and some of you all were the policemen who did it. You laughed at Black Lives Matter. That was more Caucasian than helped in Black Lives Matter than you folks. You've always laughed. You called us the N-word. I lived around you in L.A. for quite a while. You called us the N-word every chance you got. You tried to go to war with black people out there. Till them young guys shut you down. Because what you all did, the MS-13 leader was in prison. He told the MS-13 gang to remove all black people from his neighborhood. You were too cowardly to go after the other black people. What you did was you found an old man sitting waiting on the bus at the bus stop and shoot him in the head. That's just how much cowards you were. Now you want us to have pity? There's nothing that's happening to you. You've had a few months. We've had 400 years. And you know what? When during the civil rights movement, where were you? No one was there but us. We had a few other people sprinkled out. But when we see people now come and fight, and they want to fight for police brutality, stuff like that, because that can happen to them. But when we was fighting for our rights, the rights as a citizen, the rights to life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, that was all us. And you know what? We never asked anyone to help us. They came and helped, like even during Black Lives Matter. We really didn't participate in that much. It was mostly white people. We didn't act. We appreciated it. Don't get me wrong. We appreciated it. But we didn't whine and beg and cry to nobody. We handled our own business. We handled our own business. I have to correct, but I was told that I'm not correct in fully pronouncing my words, so I have to check on that. But we were minding our own business. But other people just came and helped. This net keep flying around me. So I cut all the lights off and just cut the studio lights on, and they follow it. I don't see them all day until I cut the lights on. But look, they are we never ask anyone for help. We handle our own business, and you better handle yours. See, we can't get out there with you because you don't do it the way we do it. We're not gonna get out there with you out there. Police cars just sitting there and you throwing firebombs at them for no reason. We're not gonna get out there with you. You talking about you don't want to go back to Mexico. You don't want to go back to Guatemala, but you waving the flag around. Nobody look like you saying you don't want to go back to get sent to a country and you waving their flag. People waving the Cuban flag. Oh, you Cubans, I got something for you. See, the Cubans, the Haitians, and the Africans thought that when they were talking about the thugs sending, gonna be sent back, immigrants gonna be sent back, they thought we were immigrants, and they was used to hearing us being called thugs and gangsters. They actually thought we were immigrants. You can't be immigrant when you came to a place that wasn't even a nation. When you got here and you built it into a nation, that would be like still calling the white folks who came here at that time immigrants. They're not calling them European Americans. They're just calling them Americans. But they're still calling us African Americans, which Jesse Jackson term, which was beneficial at that time. Now many people calling us foundational Black Americans. Because all these other people talking about getting in on reparations if we get it. The hell with them. They're not getting none of our money. They fight for their own money. You Jamaicans, they fight for some Jamaican reparations. You're not getting none of our money. You come here and think you better than us. Thought they were going to deport us. Then the Haitians get the message when he said they was eating the dogs and the cats and the pets. And still thought they was talking about us. All the Cubans, what that song they was singing? How do you vote for Donald Trump? How do you vote? Couldn't say vote right. How do you vote for Donald Trump? The same woman who made that song and it was on the video dance, most of those people have been deported. Her and her husband and son have been deported. And I think I heard she's been deported. Now they crying, they asking, black people need to help us. The hell with y'all. I'm only concerned about those known as fundamental Black Americans, those who are originally from well, I can't even say Africa no more, part of the United States of America. I won't say African no more because they're trying to get some of our money. You know, black folk, we don't play about our money. You know, and see that, but see the thing is, we're gonna have to differentiate ourselves from them. Differentiate. I got to come. Part ourselves from them. I say that. Differentiate ourselves from them because they're not really for us. They just need some help right now, and people see us minding our own business, and they can't stand that. Cause they laughed at us. They made fun of us. Why don't we just go get a job? We're lazy. How can you be lazy when your people has a $2.3 trillion spending power? We're richer than many nations. We just don't know how to spend our money. And I say spending power. I didn't say all of our money. And they're talking about it going up to around $3 trillion. Spending power now. That's why they come after us to buy stuff. But that's not all the money. That's just the spending money we spend. We're not broke. We just don't spend our money right. We got all these shops in our town. We go to their shops and spend our money. They can take it to their community and they turn around over and over again and their community get rich. They come to us and go from our hand to their hand to out of our community, turn over one time. And they don't turn over with us. That's why we're broke. Do you know there was an Asian woman? She admitted. See, now that they're in trouble, and they're the ones who's on the grind meal, and getting their butts whooped and getting kicked out, they're telling the truth on a lot of stuff now that's been going on. They're telling the truth about how there's many more white people on food stamps and welfare than they admitted to, and far less black people. They're telling the truth about how poor and nasty a lot of white folks are living. They hid that. There was an Asian woman. She said that many times when Asian people go get a loan, a business loan, they won't give it to them unless they're going to open a business in the black area, in the black community. Same with the Arabs. But the black people can't get the business loan. We need to get our black business people together. They need to plot a strategy. You know, I'm not talking about going up there separately. I even do a podcast with them. I'm going to try that. Get our black business people together. And they have to form a group. The few black business people we got in town. Because we don't have that many. But look, because if they can't get a loan from these banks, they're putting their money into a business loan. Take your money out that bank. And see, and I tell you, we need some black people to go and try to open up businesses in Asian neighborhoods. We got some in white neighborhoods, out in Belleville. Matter of fact, we got more black businesses in Belleville, in Fairfield Heights than we're doing in where I live, East St. Louis. We got more black businesses there than we do in the all black town. Because it's been set up that way. But let's try to open up some business in some Arab neighborhoods. They're not going to patronize you. And they'll try to run you out of there. And first of all, they're not going to allow you to. But we'll allow anybody. We're just like Africa. We'll allow anyone who wants to, who don't look like us, to come in there and do whatever they want to do. But our people can't do it. Let the Africans go try to open a business in Europe. See what happens. They can't even get a visa to go there. But the Europeans could just walk right into Africa without it. They said that they made $50-some billion a year by turning down visas from people from Africa and Europe, knowing they weren't going to get. They said they make it every year, but the people from Europe don't need a visa. They can just walk right into the African nations. Not anymore, though. The African nations has changed it. One man that started all that, and that's Abraham Traore in Burkina Faso. He's changed all of that. They're keeping their own wealth. France's economy is suffering because they can no longer rob African wealth. I said that to say that we let other people, we're the only people in the world who let the minority rule. You can't go around other people and black people going to rule them as they're the majority. They won't allow it. We're the only people in the world who allow that. You think if South Africa was white, black people could go there and run those white people? They still control 96% of the wealth. The black people just run it economically. Politically. White people still run it economically. They got their own little cities off to themselves. Run them out of there. Take all their wealth from them. Let them go to take their clothes, take their wealth out the banks, strip them down butt naked and send them to the planes and train stations. Let them go back to, most of them are Dutch. And they didn't create their own little nation in the Afrikaners. There's no such thing as an Afrikaner. There's no such thing as a white house South African. You are an invader. They made a white woman, Miss Zimbabwe. You don't make invaders. You're colonialized. But that happens when you don't run them out. They're now citizens. You should have ran you. When colonialism ended, you should have ran them out and quit letting them rob all your wealth. Your people poor and their people rich. They're just now learning. Just now? After all this time? It didn't come into your mind that these people taking all our stuff, but what they did, they put their puppets in, made him rich. Some of those African presidents were billionaires while the people suffered. But getting back to what I was talking about here. We need If these people don't allow us to open businesses in their neighborhoods, we need to boycott them and let them out. But it's not going to work because we're too selfish. I got to go buy my beer. I'm not thinking about that boycott. I'll tell you why. I know it won't work. They're going to offer you a bargain and you're going to take it. There was an Asian man, I forget what cities it was in, who hit a black woman in the mouth. The black men boycotted that store. You know what the Asian people did? They offered a 50% discount. The black women broke that boycott, had lines around the corner to get that 50% discount. Evidently, your hair and nails is worth more to you than black women. But see, I don't think the black men handled it right either. You know, wanna know why? What if a black store owner had hit a black woman in the mouth? Her father, her brother, there wouldn't have been no boycott. Her family would have came up there, wore that man out, and tore his store up. Why we so scared of everybody else? Do the same thing to them. Should have hit his woman in the mouth, tore their store up, so they wouldn't want to come back. But we scared of everybody else. We're the only people we'll fight back physically. Everybody else, we gotta get strategic all of a sudden. But we're not strategic with each other. And you know, I'm gonna talk about this real quick. Remember, I told you all that fighting you see, which mostly women on the internet. I've never seen it in person before. Well, I did for the first time yesterday up on the people who know what I'm talking about on 25th Street. These women fighting each other, and then how you know how 3 or 4 kick on each other, and they say, "Well, why don't the men stop it?" I walked right on by, mind my own business, didn't even mind to look at it. Of course, you know they were plus sizes, they always are. And I'm not getting in the middle of that mess. Look, these are not damsels in distress. You help women if somebody just attacking her for no reason, like somebody trying to take her purse, something like that. But not some women who are in mutual combat. They want to box. Now see, people want men to be traditional gentlemen to women who are not traditional ladies. You think I risk my life, health, and strength going out there getting in the middle of that mess for women who sometimes deserve a beat down or decided on mutual combat? I saw some people taking out their camera and recording. I'm not recording that mess. Some people act like they like that stuff. I know white folks do because that's why they always on every black fight on social media. I don't like watching them. You know what I do it for? Because of what I do, there's certain things I have to look at, and I look at the comments more than the fight. So I can get a feel of things. They're all over black people misbehaving on social media because they click on to it. And when they click, you notice things that you click on to it keep coming to you because of the algorithms that keep coming to you. I can look at something on Amazon, next thing I know, it's all over my Facebook and TikTok and Instagram page. Something you mention on Facebook is on your, next thing you know, ads about it coming up on your Instagram page. Or vice versa. So yeah, so that's the only reason I even pay attention to the fights. I look more at the comments. And one thing about them white folks be all over it. Because it make them feel good about themselves. You see, because you notice, white folks fight all the time. But they talk about the fight. When black folks fight, They talk about race, but they say things are not about race. I need to take a quick break. Stay with me and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. My nasals was getting a little stopped up. I had to go and shoot a little spray up in it. But look, yeah, but we that was the first time I ever saw one of those fights in person. And I don't see what people like to sit and watch that for. It wasn't a pretty thing. You know, and even men, even if you don't stop it, why do you enjoy that? Seeing women fight. I don't want to see women fight. Unless there's some mud involved. You know, then that's controlled. But look, yeah, but let's even though certain things may happen, don't mean we have to take joy in it. But the thing about it though is best we leave people to their devices. I was listening to a black conservative today, and I know this is not on the DC and all that, but look, you know one thing I noticed about the black conservative and the black MAGA people, they focus on what black people are not doing right. They focus on our misbehavior. Like, and that's what white people do also. You know how people try to create a case against black people about us not being perfect. Now we're supposed to be all these things you say. Why do you expect us to be perfect? And we're supposed to have everything right. If we don't, that means we deserve everything we get. They say, well, black people, they go places and they misbehave. White people go places and misbehave. Like I said, that was the first time I ever saw a fight like that. But I've seen white people do it in person. Ask the black people who live around white people. Neighbors calling the police on each other all the time. They all out in the street fighting. They just don't post everything like we do. Our black people don't go looking for their fights. That's why it don't come up like ours do with them. Go to a white soccer match, a hockey match. Them white folks beating up the referee just about every game. I know because I filmed some of them. I stopped doing it. They was fighting so much. Then go and black people, we got to stop buying into white supremacy. We look upon ourselves. It's nothing they say about us we don't say about ourselves. Behind closed doors, behind closed doors, you would think every black person was a conservative. But many black people do have conservative thinking. Most black people side with the liberal because of civil rights, and they don't want to see people's rights taken away. But these Nats having a field day. Other than that, most black people, but see, there's a difference in black conservatism and white conservatism. Black conservatism is black people really don't care too much about hearing about that all that LGBT stuff being involved with our race. trying to compare the two. But we side with the Democrats because of other issues, mostly with the Democrats. But look with the with but many of the black people, we talk like white supremacists behind closed doors. When we see black people misbehaving, boy, we just can't behave by ourselves. Who is we? Do you do that? I don't do it. So who is we? We do like them. We judge ourselves by the worst of us. You know yourself, we got black people in black communities that are virtually crime free. It happens in pockets and with certain demographics, and you know it. But you get on social media and side with the white folk, side with the white supremacists, like all of us is committing crime when the truth is 90% of the crimes in the black community, serious crimes, are committed by less than 2% of the people between the ages of 14 and 22. Matter of fact, when you get in the working class, there's very little crime among black people. So with black people, it has to do with economics. Other people, they can be working, have jobs, they be doing one, doing fine. They're committing crime all over the place. They can be rich, still committing crimes. See, when our economics improve, the way we behave improves. That's why you see many times at 22, them guys that got jobs or something. Got jobs, got killed or in prison, one of the three, and they get that off their mind, and they start becoming productive citizens. Most of them now, not all of them. But then I can't speak for all of them. I speak about the consensus of the majority. There's always going to be some people. Like I said, 90% of the crime is done by those people. Not 100%. But see, I notice when other people talk about black people, you notice they never separate us. They put us all together. That's when I talk about them. I don't separate them no more. Those who are the good ones, just be the good ones and call yourselves out. When people talk about us, I don't hear the so-called good folks coming on white folks' posts, correcting them. Not all black people like that. I have black friends, and they're even the ones who got black family members. I don't hear them coming on, straightening anyone out. But we gotta distinguish among everybody. They come on the black folks page when we say something about them. Always has nothing to do with race. All we're one people. We're all one race. Go tell the people who are the architect of racism that. You don't go and tell them that when they talk about us, we're all one people. We're all one race. We're not. Racism is not a black problem. It's not. It's their problem. The people who cause something is the ones you have to go talk to, not the ones who they cause it against, not the victim. How you say, and because yeah, I know it's even the white hosts on television. You see those baby questions they ask white people, and then they come black people with tough questions, and even if they have to lie, go talk to a black man tomorrow. He's against affirmative action. Black people didn't start affirmative action. But are you against the reason why affirmative action had to be started in the first place? Talk about that. Talk about that. Black people didn't even start that. Black people didn't start DEI. I didn't even hear about DEI till after Trump got elected. Why don't you ask white people when you gonna stop discriminating to stop that stuff? I told you this in scenario before. They're like somebody standing over you, beating you to a pulp, blooding you up, throw you this towel called affirmative action so you can wipe a little blood off, and then keep on beating you, throw you another towel called DEI, you wipe a little blood off, keep still beating you, then look her down at you and say, when are we gonna stop this? Now when are you gonna stop it? You're the reason all this had to be started, not us. You keep the problem going and then want to blame the people who you caused it against. You don't care who you hurt or who you do things against. You're going to turn around and play victim. Now you got this thing called black fatigue. I'm going to have to do a show on that. You got a lot of damn nerve. You talking about black, you tired of somebody. Matter of fact, we don't live or come to your neighborhood. We come to the stores because that's where they at. You got white neighborhood. So you talking about building your own towns. Most of you live in all white towns anyway. They're all over the nation. Black people just live in most in the large metropolitan areas. But look, the whole world got white fatigue. You've been around the world causing wars, ramming democracy down people's throat, and then you turn around and elect a dictator, had them people fighting all those wars for democracy. Now you don't even want it anymore. You've killed people, taken their resources. The white Caucasian race been the cause of most of the major wars in the last 300 years, maybe 400 years. That's been you. You've killed more people on this planet in the last 200 years than every other race combined in the history of this planet. You kill millions of people at a time. You're the mass killer. And you call yourself being fatigued? No, everyone else is fatigued. You cause problems in just about every nation in this world. You stole the land from people and they never got it back. Australia belonged to Aborigines, not those Dutch people living down there. All them light-skinned people up in northern Africa. Those people don't belong there. They're supposed to be black. You caused all of that. And you got the nerve to call yourself having fatigue, and that's not even coming over here about what you're doing over here to black people. And you got the nerve to talk about you got black fatigue? No, the whole world got white fatigue. Show you how stupid you all are. You go and do everything you can to everybody talk about you tired of them. Go to your all white towns. Them look talking about you going there. You got your own application to come. You gotta be an Anglo-Saxon white person. You gotta check your DNA. You don't have to check it. Most of the white folks don't want to come there. Talking about you gonna go back to goat herding and a cabin building. What the hell you think you want to come to that? We don't even come to your already established town. Those towns they called sundown towns. Most black people don't even know where they at because they don't care. When you find them, they're little hick towns. Black people don't even want to be in sun up. So make as many as you want, because we're tired of looking at you anyway. Make all of them you want to. You got black fatigue. No, black people been had white fatigue for the last 400 years. Now you got black fatigue? No, like I said, we've had white fatigue for 400 years. You think the slaves weren't tired of white folks? Jim Crow? Them slaves you brought over on the ship, they wasn't tired of you? The whole world tired of you, really. That's why you're on the decline. You're trying to hang on to dear life. They're running you out of Africa finally. Not just physically, but economically also. France economy is suffering because they can't get that gold and stuff from Africa. And they're building up their military. You think you're going to come over there and take it. You may say, oh, we got the strongest military. Let me tell you about this white military, including the United States military. They're not good on the ground. That's why they got to bomb the hell out of people. You notice, they only win wars where they can just bomb people. Every war they've had, where they had to put boots on the ground war, well, they kill a lot of people. They got the best military, but they never achieved their objective. If you remember, the gas. Let's look at every war. Since World War II, what war has the United States won when they had to put boots on the ground? They won in the fighting, yeah. But when was their objective achieved in Korea? No. Matter of fact, that's really still an ongoing war. They didn't just have an armistice. They had to split up Korea because of democracy. The United States wanted South Korea to have democracy. How does South Korea feel the United States is on its way of not to having democracy? And they cause you to split your nation up. Vietnam, they want democracy in the South. Communism in the North. Who's still in control of Vietnam? The Viet Cong. Same people was in control at first. And you didn't achieve your objective. You killed a lot of people. You had the baddest army, but the baddest army still didn't achieve its objective. Nowhere the United States or any of these white armies, even Israel, has had to put boots on the ground that they actually won the war. Only when they were bombing. That's why Israel's doing all that bombing. You know why Israel bombing? The last time they went into Lebanon and had to fight Hamas, they couldn't defeat Hamas. Many of them were even saying, oh man, those people can actually fight now. To my Hamas, they learned to fight. Israel had to get out of there on the ground. That's why they do most of their fighting from the air, bombing people. Air superiority. That's how they beat Japan in World War II. Air superiority. And the United States really haven't won a ground war. I'm not talking about being, they could blow up more stuff, kill more people. We haven't achieved their objective in the ground war since World War II. And like I said, that's why Israel won't fight Hamas on the ground. Last time they tried, Hamas taught them a lesson. They said Israeli soldiers were running back. Oh, they can actually fight. They were used to fighting people who couldn't fight. Richard Nixon told them, said the Arabs better learn to get peace. At that time, none of the Arab nations had peace with Israel. He said that the Arab nation had better get peace, but Israel has better get peace with the Arab nations before the Arabs learn how to fight. And that happened. So that's why they have to create the biggest, baddest bombs and won't take it on the ground. You see, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's a person I don't agree with on anything, but she said some stuff that I agreed with. She's actually talking against Trump now. She said many people think that when you talk about Israel, you're talking about the Jewish religion instead of their secular government. And she separated the two. And I agree with that. When you talk about Israel bombing people, what does that have to do with the Jewish religion? But me, if I talk about Jewish religion, all of it if I want to. I'm talking about what most people do. Because the Jews don't like Christians. They persecute Christians over in Israel, persecute no Christians over there now, always have. That's one thing the Christians don't talk about, how the Jews over there persecuting Israel, at least those people who calling themselves Jews over there. Awful strange that all the Jews became white all of a sudden. But them people that call themselves the Jews over there, they're persecuting Israel. They're persecuting the Ethiopian Jews. I think they're imposters myself. Israel has become white all of a sudden, all white. But look, we have so I agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene on that point, and she's talking against Trump now. Now let's look at the Democrats in Texas. They gerrymandered that district there. The Republicans, but what I like to say about the Democrats though, they just haven't started. The Democrats know that's been going on. They did it in Illinois. That's why Latoya Greenwood can't win anymore. Why that seat would no longer be held by another black person because they gerrymandered that district. See, the problem with the Democrats don't move on anything until it become popular in the news. Well, you should have been doing that all the time in California. If they do it in Texas, we're going to do it in California. You ain't got to wait on no ifs. Do it. You should have been doing it anyway. See, the Democrats keep being reactive instead of proactive. Keep reacting to what the Republicans are doing. Just go ahead and do it. We're tired of these press conferences. You trying to tell us what the Republicans are doing. We already know it. Do something. Stop being little jellyfishes and do something. That Hakeem Jeffries, he's not the man for this job. They say how eloquent and how good. Come on, he's just not the man for this. They need somebody a little more forceful. Now, I'm not talking about just somebody with a big mouth. Because you can run your mouth and talk good don't mean you the person to organize everything. But Hakeem Jeffries, he talk too much like a little jelly belly. He may be good behind the scenes, but he's not good in front of it. He's really not. And I tell you right now, Democrats better grow some balls and start fighting. All over this nation. And stop waiting for the midterms. Think up some other stuff. Like they doing. Think up some other stuff. Hit them in the chops. Hit them in the nose. That Michelle Obama stuff got y'all messed up. When they go low, we go high. When they go low, you go lower. Take them down the hill if you have to. Throw them in there, but come back out though. Don't stay down there. Well, you get my just a metaphor. You know what I mean. Stop playing with these people. They're cleaning your clocks all over the nation. You depend try to get that man out some kind of way. You're waiting on elections. That may not be in the election. Now I see why some people have military coups. You have to talk to some of these generals. But yeah, let's but back to my main subject about black people. Let's think I'm not gonna stay here long tonight. Got me gas this take some for it. But these people are trying to bait you out there. Don't take the bait. And you black people in DC still want to hang out. Go home. You grown men, they catching out there on the basketball court and hanging out. Look, let that stuff go for right now. We're in a battle right now. You can't stop playing basketball for a month or so. They're looking for you. Stop out there hanging out. Stay home. You're grown men. Know how to control yourself. But you don't hanging out anyway. That's for kids, teenagers to hang out. Hang out with your family at home. Yeah, I don't see the women hanging out in DC. All I've seen is the men. Because they're coming after black people because we wouldn't come to them. They tell me I'm going to Chicago. Chicago don't even make the top 25. Most of the cities that's the most violent are in red states. The Democratic cities, but they're in red states, but they're not coming after them. Uh, um, St. Louis, the number one crime city in the nation, but it's in a red state. And now they elected a new white mayor, so they don't have to worry about it. And you know and the people in the red state they talk about the Democratic cities, not knowing that those Democratic cities are the economic hubs of those states, and they wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for those Democratic cities. Y'all broke. Matter of fact, the red states are broke. The blue states fund the red states. See, quit asking for certain things you just may get and hurt yourselves. Just like you asked for the immigrants to be deported. You cut off your nose to spite your face. Then you wonder why you can't breathe. I don't feel sorry for you. Matter of fact, I don't feel sorry for the Africans. You don't like us, the Mexicans, the Jamaicans. I don't feel sorry for none of you, the Cubans. I don't feel sorry for my folks, people, black Americans. Something happened to them, I'm all in for them. The rest of you people, I don't care. And you Mexicans coming to these black areas sitting up at the black flea market. Now I see how y'all call yourself. You're usually out there in Fairmont City at the Mexican flea market, being arrogant with black people. Now you want to run yourself down here to the East St. Louis Mall. Call yourself hiding. Don't come hiding around us. Don't bring that mess here. You wouldn't let us hide amongst you if they was after us. If they do come after us, we'll deal with it like we always do. We won't be begging you for no help. See all this stuff going on? Been there, done that. That's why we don't have to whine and cry like you do. We've been through this is another reconstruction. We've been through it. Right after slavery, black people started doing very well. Had their own banks. Do you know one generation after slavery, black people had built their own economic system? I'm talking a bunch of people, most of them couldn't even read. So that's the reason they started Reconstruction, Jim Crow, to try to put black people back in domestic positions, in foreign positions. This is not the first time they tried this. Then after that, segregation, another Reconstruction period. Anytime black people start prospering and doing well, we go through a Reconstruction period. In China, there's black progress, there's white backlash. This is just another Reconstruction period. Because what's happening is they're trying to stop all black progress. They're not burning the city down like they did Tulsa, but they're burning down everything else about us. Now, it's not a physical burn. Only it's not hurting us this time. It's not hurting us because many white people are not buying into it. Because it's hurting them also. See, the other times, you didn't hurt white people. You only hurted black people. But you're hurting white people now. That's why it's not working like you thought it would. See? Yeah, it's not working like you thought it would. So we're just going through another Reconstruction period. The reason we're going through it now, because a black man became president of the United States. So they figured they have to stop the browning of America to make sure that don't happen again. And a black woman almost did. And to be honest with you, I think she did because a lot of people are showing electronic equipment Well, they think Musk and all them AI, there was some cheating going on. How you think you had districts where AOC, the Democrat, won and Trump won? Some in some areas, Trump got just about all the vote, and Kamala Harris got. Don't let Kamala, please. Sorry, I said Kamala Trump. Oh, sorry about that. But Kamala Harris didn't get any votes, zero. I never seen a candidate just get zero votes. I could have been on the ballot. I would have got something if just 1, 2 votes. I wouldn't have got zero votes. And they need to check into that. And the MAGA people crying, talking about I'm sorry I voted for Trump. I don't feel sorry for you. You voted to hurt everybody else. Every person that voted for Trump, you asked them why, it was spite for something or somebody that made them vote. They see if these white folks, they say, I didn't vote for Trump, I should have sat it out. But you know one thing they didn't say? I should have voted for Kamala Harris. They would have sat it out than vote for that black woman. That's why I don't feel sorry for you. My compassion for others has gotten to zero. My compassion is for black Americans. And don't come to me tell me, oh, well, all of it. I don't care what some of us doing. We are not perfect, just like everybody else is not perfect. We commit crime, we don't commit crime. Some of us sag our pants, most of us don't. That's their world. The hip hop world, let them live in that world. If you don't like it, don't live in it. When white people, they didn't have that hippies and all. When you got white people, got the rock and roll generation. You don't see all them talking against that. They just, the ones who not in it, just not in it. Black people don't all have to be the same. We can be different from each other. If certain people want to wear their hair a certain way, let them wear it. I don't want to hear nothing about no LGBTQ, which I just call homosexuals. Kind of like, come on, no LGBTQ. I leave them alone. That's their world. You don't like them, just stay out of their world. I stay out of their world. You just don't try to compare your race. You know, don't try to compare my race to your sexual preference. Don't demean being black like that. There's nothing unnatural about being black. That's the only thing I say. I consider that an insult for people to say, well, discriminating against homosexuals just like discriminating against black. You're a liar there. That has nothing to do with like being black. Won't you say, would you know you could say now, being discriminated against homosexual is just like discriminating about being Hispanic. Why come you not saying that now? Why everybody got to lump themselves in with us? See, when people want pity, they come to us. The same people who don't want to give us pity. You know, every time some people want something fixed, they come to us. Come to black people. When you want to fix the agriculture problem, you went and got black slaves. But then when they got the Chinese for the railroad, because they were too lazy to do that too. Now you want this mess fixed? Oh, well, I feel better. I let that bounce out. Now that some of the white folks even saying only black people can fix this. I thought we were lazy. We were stupid, ignorant, worthless, Neanderthals. If it take us to fix this, then what does that make you? If we were all that stuff all these years. You have to face it. You fumbled this economy, you fumbled this nation, you fumbled this world. When the economy go bad, black people didn't do that. The mess that's going on now, black people didn't do that. The Wall Street crash, black people didn't do that. You was in charge. White folks, you in charge. So anything that goes wrong, that's on you, not on us. You are handling this. You said it. You run this nation. You run this world. So when things go bad, that's on you. Everything go, that's on you. If I run something, it falls on me. You run something, it falls on you. Then when it go bad, all of a sudden black people got so much power to do something about it. Always looking for us to fix what you fumble. But we're not fixing this. Because you after us too. You forget that. Taking us out of our museum, out of textbooks, tried to get us off jobs, but it didn't work. Well, you got some black women off because they did. I often said we didn't benefit from interaction, but black women did get some jobs in the beginning. But you know what the problem was? When we allowed them to start calling us minorities. See, it used to be black people, black and white. Now they included all these other people as minorities. They used to say, and then at one time they was saying black and minorities. Now they just saying minorities. And many times even leaving us out of it when they go through it. Women, yeah, people of color, LGBTQ, whatever they call it mess. Well, leave black people completely out of it. I even heard a black woman do it. Well, a few black women do it. She mentioned women, people of color, the homosexuals, just like they did, left black men completely out. And that's what affirmative action did. See, they saw black women as a double minority. So they was giving, see, if you notice, most black women with six-figure jobs and high-paying jobs work for some type of government job. That's why a lot of black women got fired. It's not that they're after black women. They're after black people. It just seems like they're after black women because more black women has government jobs. And affirmative action only affects government jobs. So you see, they find all type of ways, but we need to stop letting them call us minorities. That's lumping us in, even with white women. When you lump everybody else together, the white male is now the minority, but he's walking away with 83%. With everything, really. And he treats the white women like trash. But they still side with their men because they know they need their men. But you see we can't be everybody's fix-it man. And I'm not going to try to be. I'm not going to try to worry about everyone else's problems. I'm going to deal with black people's problems. And then if any black people want to, that's on you. That's up to you. But when you got out down in Allen, and see, they find a way to try to want to throw you in prisons. And one of them may be alligator Alcatraz. And when you had them alligators nipping at your butt, I'm not coming down there to fight no alligator. So you better stay put and leave these folks mess alone and let them deal with their own stuff. Mentioning alligators. Do you know that in many parts of Africa, they're at one with nature? And they showed these videos of these little black children just walking with wild lions and tigers. Adults and children just walking. These wasn't trained lions and tigers. I often wonder why does those Africans walk through the woods like that, knowing there's still wild animals like that? They don't attack them. When did you hear about Africans being killed by lions, wild animals? You hear about some of them Europeans going over there and get chewed up. their little black children play with alligators. I thought of this because the alligator Alcatraz made me think of this. This video, look, and these are not no AI videos. Little kids riding on grown alligators' backs, crocodiles riding on their backs. They're at one with nature. These people, these folks, has caused a problem between nature. They've caused a problem in nature. You know where you can walk around a trained lion in the zoo. They got to make sure he's well fed before they can go in the cage. Even though he's trained, let him don't be fed. You're not worried about no trainer then. Both are there. They can have them as pets. But it was really, I've already noticed some of them had lions as pets. And they could walk around the animals over there. When I saw those little children, I mean, real video, I'm not talking about no AI made up. Little children playing with and riding on the back of alligators and crocodiles. That was really something. But yeah, but so I'm not gonna hold you tonight because I talked about just about all I can talk about. Because I really like to talk about things about people because I really didn't like what I saw what Al Green did in Al Green. I really got a lot of respect for him. He's a Texas congressman. But the only problem I have with him is what he did on Labor Day. I don't think he should have had all those black people to go out there. I didn't really agree with that. Because they're just itching for you to go out there. And it was peaceful. But I know I wouldn't have went. I've told you over and over again, I don't believe in no peaceful protest. You hurt mine, I hurt yours. But that's why I don't participate. I would live stream them. I didn't participate because if you got a peaceful protest going on, it wouldn't be right for me to come there and disrupt it. And there's not a lot of black people like me, so. But it's I wouldn't come there and disrupt someone else's protest. That wouldn't be right. I would be no better than the looters who come and disrupt those people protests. You remember in Ferguson, the police wouldn't do nothing, and the protesters had to go off the line and stop those people from looting and stopped all that and go back to protest. That's why there haven't been any um, violent Black Lives Matter protests. Not with black people. It was when white people took over. If you notice how the Black Lives Matter protest was a little more fighting and shooting, people getting killed and stuff, burning down the police station. You notice how that started when other folks got involved. Antifa and all them started getting involved. You notice when black people was doing it, there wasn't a lot of violence and stuff. Believe me, some of them were strapped, but it was for protection. So the Black Lives Matter protest that was had a little physical. I ain't gonna say violence, but because had a little physical stuff going on. It wasn't us. Do you think a bunch of black people up in Minnesota could have left the lines, run up in the police station, run the police out and burn it down? There would have been black bodies all over them steps. You know it. No, that wasn't us. Many things that happened in Black Lives Matter wasn't us. It was them. In St. Louis, about it 70711, which they burned down and black people frequented. I think black person owned it. And they went too far with that. There was one guy out there with a hood on, with black, busting out the window. Under the hood was a white guy, came out there to agitate. Because black people would have known not to burn down that 7-Eleven. That was a staple. What street is that? You know the one over there by the old post office? That was a staple in St. Louis. Now, and they didn't even rebuild it. Well, why would you build something that someone burnt down? You wouldn't want to come back. Perhaps to have it done again. But yeah, we didn't put our time in. We put our time in. And if any black people want to go out there and do it, we can't stop you. And if something happened now, don't come crying. You got to cut you loose too. At least I am. Because you've been warned and you've been told. See how those people fight. They didn't come to our party. Why go to theirs? They laughed at us, to be honest with you. Those Hispanics out in LA call black folks N-word in a minute. Try to keep up fights with black folks, even though they got their butt whooped, but yet they kept up mess with black folks. And we're supposed to feel sorry for you and come to help you. You're just gonna be gone. You old Cubans, I can't stand y'all. Thought you was white, didn't you? Identified as white. You voted to get the Haitians out. You voted to get the Mexicans out. Because they're of different nationalities than you. You want to be the only Latino in the yard. You know what they did? Excuse me. See, the Cubans left there because of Castro communism. Cuba is poor because the United States still has a blockade of Cuba. Which China and Russia observed, they ain't nothing but a couple of old sissies. No, I can't say that word. But China and Russia soft. They talk all that big bad talk against the United States. Look, if China really wanted to invade Taiwan, don't you think now would be the opportune time to do it while the United States is in disarray? In Cuba, excuse me, getting some of that congestion there. But look, so the Cubans was given status here. Some of them were citizens and they still deported them. That's why they were singing all that I will vote for Donald Trump, all that old mess. And they ended up deporting them. Some of them had never been to Cuba before. There's plenty of black people in Cuba. Cuba's mostly black. But they only allowed the white looking ones over here. So everywhere in the world, black people discriminated against. They mostly how many black Cubans have you seen over here? Only the first skin. Big mustache and the big puffy eyebrow. That's that. With the cigar in his hand, that's a stereotypical view of a Cuban. Idea of a Cuban. Those Cuban women, a lot of them looked white almost. So you got what you voted for. All you people who voted to hurt somebody else, including you other MAGA people, you black MAGAs too. I don't care what happened to y'all, because you shouldn't have tried to hurt other people. It backfired on you, and I say good. I'm not none of these people trying to be fair to everybody. You be fair with who's fair with you. If you don't have compassion on my people, you haven't over all this 400 years. Why should we have compassion on you? Those who you want to do it can do it. And see, that's what a lot of black people realize, even in church. Church got us programmed to the point where we got to love and try to take care of everybody. When in the Bible did it ever say God loved and took care of everybody? Now, when did it say that? Most of the people, when in the Bible, when it's talking about help those, it was talking about the other things. If you go to church, your only obligation to sinners is to lead them to Christ. Other than that, they're on their own. Now, you can feed them if you want to, but you're not obligated to. That's what people don't realize about the church. The civil rights era brought the church into a lot of things. Can you remember Martin Luther King? A lot of ministers didn't even want to come, wouldn't let him in their pulpit because they said he was bringing the word into the church. King was actually hated by a lot of people, a lot of black people. All that he go messing with them white folks again. He gonna make us lose our job. King wasn't allowed in most pulpits. Now the AME church, they were more receptive to King than many of the Baptist church. But see, I keep trying to get these gnats. I'm gonna find a way to keep out of here even when I turn the lights on. This is the only time I see them. But look, but you don't have to feel guilty that you have to help everybody because I don't, and I'm not going to. When you're in a war, you got to help your people. We're at war right now. In fact, we've always been at war. We just didn't know it. This is really bringing it out more. We tried to get along with Hispanics while they was at war with us. We tried to get along with whites while some of them was at war where they were. I ain't gonna distinguish nothing. I'm just gonna say those who are not going to distinguish themselves while they was at war with us. We tried to get along with the immigrants while they was at war with us. Everybody's been at war with us all the time. We just didn't realize it. These Arabs. We need to get them out of our neighborhoods, take control of our own economy. We need to get our black businessmen together and plot a strategy. Arab, go home. I know some of you may work for them, work for some black folks. And the black folks, you're going to have to treat these people right. You do have bad community relations, but it's not like these Asians are treating you so good. Let me show you something that black people did. You all may not have noticed. Do you know when the Arab stores really got popular among black people? After 9/11. Everybody, the white man started persecuting. We start picking them up and start really siding with them. That's when the Arab stores got popular. After 9/11, it was said that the Arabs bombed the World Trade Center. Do you know we got some Chinese restaurants here? So many people up in there, they block traffic on, making those people millionaires. This particular one I'm talking about, used to rarely see people go up in there. Since COVID, they flocked there. You would think it was school going on. Everybody, the white man, see, they blame China for COVID. Everyone you think the white man is against you for, but they against you. Make your own people rich like that. When y'all was in love with soul food, you didn't even flock to soul food place like that. But we seem to love everybody but us. So they say, oh, you talk about race all the time. So does everyone else. Going to this white folks' home. That's all they do. N word is, N word that. Yeah, I talk about race. 'Cause a lot of our people just don't seem to get it. It's not no race neutral society. I don't care what Kamala Harris say. America's never been a racist society. It has been. Biden said it too. Has been and founded upon race. And you know what? Anything that white people run is gonna be racist. This is in their DNA. Other people have fought wars, had slaves around the world, but they didn't do it because of race, like the like white people did. They took it to another level. And you know what one white woman had the nerve to say, and these black folks like they didn't know how to answer. Well, like black people shouldn't be saying about slavery because slavery's been around for 1,000 years. Genocide has been around for thousands of years. But do people tell the Jews stop talking about the Holocaust because genocide been around for thousands of years? They only try that with black people. Every type of bad thing there is has always been around, but do that make it okay? Because it's always been around? You talking about they had slavery down in the Caribbean, they had slavery. We don't give a damn where else they had slavery. We talking about here. If they if they go on a killing spree over in St. Louis and they say and say, well, let them come over here and do some killing because they're doing it in St. Louis. We worry about here. Don't bring it here. You supposed to feel good about something because it's happened somewhere because it didn't just happen where you at, it also happened somewhere else. Let them people somewhere else worry about it. Don't blame us because other people didn't ask for their reparation. Don't blame us because other people don't speak out against your racism. That's their problem, not ours. Because we didn't go along with slavery. We supposed to go along with it because they won't say nothing about it. Oh, there was slavery down there. That's their problem. Let them deal with it. We're dealing with this here. We want our money. We want our reparations. And they ain't got nothing to do with it. Let Jamaica fight for reparations down there. We'll do it here. Yeah, get them out of here. I'm glad they gone. They didn't like us. You know they didn't come to none of the reggae concerts that black people would have. I used to wear red, green, and black. I don't even wear that mess no more. I'm not wearing it no more. I'm gonna wear stuff benefiting our people here. We need to get us a slogan. I wear that. Forget these other folks. One thing we didn't do that's wrong, we didn't get ethnic groups among our. There's too many. We don't have any codes or ethical standards, and that's what's got our people in disarray, and that's by design. And look, we look for religion side of everything for us. If you notice, people of the same religion even have different ethics. Even the white folks have different religions. You see how they branched off? Like the Muslim, you have the Sunni Muslim, you have all different kind of Muslims. For black people, you got Christian. You may have the Pentecostals, but that's just different type of churches. They don't have different type of ethics because you can use your religions to form ethics, but religion is not your ethics. And your ethics is how you operate within society. You use your Christian values, but you gotta realize you're operating in this world also, and you're subject to the things of this world. I see people talking about being sick all the time, but most of them will be obese. Who's saying that? You just can't take medicine and still eating that same stuff that made you sick in the first place. That's why the reason I'm saying this is because we have to use some common sense also. But I think we're gonna be okay out of this. When it's over with black people, I think we're gonna be okay. But then it hit us with all the shots. And when you see white folks have to come beg us for help, I think we may be doing okay. They're dragging white women on the ground, beating them. And other white folks are okay with it. So that they just gotta suck it up. They're telling them to turning water holes on white people and Hispanics, like they used to do black people in the civil rights movement. You see what these other people are doing? They're about 60 years behind us. They don't see that though. We're years ahead of other folks right now. You see, y'all never saw it like that, did you? That's the reason why we have to start looking at stuff. We have to start looking at our positives instead of our negatives. We're actually ahead of everybody else when it comes to all this, what's going on now. We're 60 years ahead of them, generations ahead of them. So we ought to know not to get out there. Let them take their lumps and find out for themselves. Because when they decided to put this man in office in the way he's looking, he may not make it to the midterms. And when they decided to put him in office to hurt other people, they FAFO. And that's on them. So, to my people, let's start getting together, and try to work together. We have to start plotting a strategy. But that's one thing we're not doing. We can't just sit around. I want to get those black businessmen together. If I can get them up here, I'm going to put out the call. Some of them I know. And I know some people who can get them together. Because we need some black folks to open up some businesses. We need to try to get our people to move back to their areas. Because our schools are getting empty. And we don't, that's why I say building $350,000 homes is okay. But we're not going to get that many people. Come here, you build $350,000 home. You're a train track with the train blowing its whistle half the night. No stores, no businesses around. You got to start building that around those homes. You have to think these things through. Here's another, start building some strip mall or something around those $350,000 homes if you want someone to buy them. But they're not going to come there just to look at the trains roll by and spend that kind of money. So we need to do that. Get our black businessmen to put on their thinking caps. We don't need Pook and Ray Ray. We hear enough from them. It's a lot of people when they try to plot a strategy, they try to talk about the young people. We don't need that kind of logic on this. We don't need that because they are. We're thinking about the intellectuals. Some of them are smart, good at school, but they're just not our intellectual when it comes to stuff like this. We don't have time for no foolishness right now. We don't have time for it. And we don't have time for people to come here and want to argue and fuss because you can get thrown out. You might get your dome split. Cause we ain't got time for no playing right now. We got to bring some people together and plot our strategy. If you want to come to argue and fuss about, well, what about what if they come with some plans? If you want to be arbitrary with everybody, we don't need you. We're gonna get something going. And we're gonna get it going soon. I'm gonna start it myself. I know enough black businessmen to get them together, or I know the people who I know can get them together. Black businessmen. I don't want no Arabs up in there. Only black people welcome to this. I'm doing like the United States government is doing. They only want white people. The people with their white only towns only want black people. I know they say where the Arabs got big. Yes, where you gonna go meet with them? Go meet with them. I'm meeting with black people. I didn't say Arabs. You better not bring none there, or you and them getting blown out. I don't want no nail technician up in there. I know beauty supply store on them Asians. They gonna get tossed out, and you too if you bring one. And we're gonna let the plane, we're gonna let the groundworks be known. If you're not black, get back. We gotta look out for our people like everybody else. Look out for theirs. You look out for your people by not letting us open businesses in your neighborhood, even though you have them all over ours. Remember the Asian woman who sued to try to block affirmative action to my she wanted to get in school like black people the only one keeping out. Now you just weren't smart enough. See now that they're not using affirmative action anymore, you are not gonna have any excuse to not get in school. Like you got a seat that a black person got your seat. Why come a white person didn't have your seat? See you thought you was white, now you in the FAFO. Think about it. Now let's see you all get in college on your own merits now. You can't sit and talk about well black person keeping me from getting in. Now you can't say why that black person in there instead of me. They're just smarter than you. Like they were in the first place. They're like they can get in trade school ahead of you. That's not affirmative action has nothing to do with that. DEI has nothing to do with that. Why come the black person got in trade school ahead of you? You're not the smartest one in the bunch. You think because you're around black people, you're supposed to be smarter? I'm not talking about just white people. I'm talking about the rest of you too. Black people academically is creating all type of new avenues around this world. But you won't hear about it because y'all too busy watching fights. You're too busy watching fights. You other folks, maybe you black folks too busy watching fights. So you don't even hear about stuff like that. So again, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here, but look, watch yourselves. Don't get out here in other folks' mess. Let them take it on the chin like we did. If they can't take it, too bad. My name is Larry Duncan now. You can hit my cash app if you want to. If you don't, I'm gonna be okay anyway. You want to hit it, fine, but it's not, you're not gonna stop it. I had somebody say that no hit nothing on him. And it's not gonna stop nothing. See, people don't realize I own my own. I got cable, Charter Spectrum cable station, WSL 984. I just don't broadcast on it. Can if I want to. It's just that you know, it's not a money maker. I got to deal with people don't watch cable anymore that much. I can fire it up back up anytime I want to. That's why you see on my logo, you see it was City of Champions, but you can see the part on the logo um, where it says WSL 984. See the Champions TV and WSL 984. That's a chartered cable television channel. I'm still waiting on my Roku. I paid my money. I'm still waiting for them to get that website done. But they're gonna have to make my money proactive though. What they're going to. And I also have a YouTube channel. I used to do all the sports, high school sports game on it. But I decided to stop doing that. And that's a WSL. I'm sorry, I'm saying the cable channel. That's a City of Champions Television on Facebook. ESL 89 Blocks Media, which I'm broadcasting on now on Facebook. And there's a No More Water Fire Next Time page on Facebook. It just don't have as many members, but I shares it over to that. It has quite a few members, but not as many members as this page or the WSL page. And I also have a YouTube channel, City of Champions Media, on YouTube. That's I used to do the games on that. It is very popular. Yeah. So you can go to my YouTube. You on Facebook? You can go to my YouTube channel and subscribe to it. City of Champions Media on YouTube. Or you can just type City of Champions and it's gonna say East St. Louis. That's it. That's it also. I usually like to include East St. Louis because this goes around the world. And that's why I try not to just get off into local matters. But when you're in the city, you can't help but to mention it sometimes. But cause see, sometimes I do stuff on my YouTube channel but I don't share it on Facebook. I could be live on YouTube without being live on Facebook, depending on what it is. So thank you for tuning in. And my name is Larry Duncan Allen, but most people just say Duncan. They wouldn't, if you see any more, they wouldn't know who you're talking about. But tune in and next time. But I'm going to sign off now and thank you for tuning in. Be sure to keep tuning in and watch all the shows because I'm going to start trying to have a panel up. Also on I'm going to start doing a many you know T Baby. She's going to start doing a broadcast on my YouTube channel. You know T Baby Ooh Wee. She's going to start doing the Ooh Wee show on my YouTube channel. So I may tune it over to this, but you're gonna have to donate to her, cause so she can pay her dues, But look, you ought to do that, uh, and I'll let you know when you T Baby. It's gonna be coming up maybe next week. Most of you know T Baby. Very good person. She helps a lot around the community, and she's a friend of mine. She's um, gonna start broadcasting. When she do, I'm gonna let her put a cash app up and donate to a cash app. Don't treat her like you treat me. Okay? I can withstand it. Might be in my platform, I can withstand it. I'm gonna be okay no matter what. So tune in next time and no more water fight next time and I'm gonna sign out. So see you.